Well, greetings, test takers. This is Dean Tenney coming to you from my studio here in fabulous Las Vegas with a request for an explication of a Series 24 question. I highly recommend the Kaplan Q Bank as a paid supplement if you don't already have one. And the Kaplan Series 24 quick sheets are pretty good too. About 20 bucks. All Kaplan products and services, you're welcome to use my Guru 10 discount code. And for that commercial, Kaplan allows me, shout out to Kaplan, to share their content in social media. So here is the question request. A market maker is holding a customer limit order. Now, I would warn you that on the test, they're under no obligation to tell you that's a limit order. You should know that when a customer gives you a price, that means it's a limit order. So this could have said is gets a customer order to buy 500 at 45.20, and that would make no difference in terms of the answer. Okay, so first thing here to recognize is indeed this is a buy limit, and I think they're kind of nice here to tell you that's a buy limit. Let's put that in a different color. So, in terms of what I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is about limit order protection, I'm thinking. But then you got to be real careful. And MAQ is the minimum acceptable quantity. So that's the only reason. I don't know how you missed this, but my guess is you missed it by not knowing that means minimal acceptable quality. So this order actually has two qualifiers, not one. It has two contingencies, two qualifiers. This customer is saying they want to buy 500 shares at 45.20, but they only want it if they can get all 500. Now, where you're probably going to struggle on this question, is this one of the exceptions where I do not need to display this order? I have no responsibility to display it, and I have no responsibility to fill it in terms of what you told me, because now I pick up as a principal 300 shares at 45.15. So what we're thinking here is it looks like a limit order protection problem, or it looks like I should get the customer 300 shares. The only reason that is not true is because of this phraseology, this qualifier. And the qualifier here is this. Whoop. I meant to use an arrow there. Let me get an arrow. Right. So that's what's the part you had to recognize in this question. All right. So let's see. Under NASDAQ trading rules, well, I already told you one NASDAQ trading rule. There is no display requirement for a minimal acceptable quantity. If a customer gives us a minimum acceptable quantity, that allows the customer to request a minimum share amount with each execution, in this case, 500. Order with minimum quantity are always non-displayed, and they're not routable. We're not going to route this anywhere, is the other point. All right, let's see what our choices are. Let me clean up my slide. Well, we'll pretend we don't know the answer set here. I'm not obligated to fill the order in whole or part. The reason for that, again, is minimum acceptable quantity. That's the only reason. So my guess is that's why you were struggling with this order. Obligated to fill 300 shares of the order, cancel the remaining. You should have definitely been able to get rid of that one. Let me just shrink. I try to make it so you can see this if you're on a smartphone. Let me shrink it down so we can deal with each of these answers as we go. But in terms of process of elimination, even if you were struggling with this, you should have been able to eliminate that choice, because under limit order protection, you don't get to pretend that you don't have an obligation on the remaining 300. So you should have been able to get that out of there by process of elimination. Obligated to fill 300 shares of the order and protect the remaining. I would think that's the best miss, because again, what makes this a little challenging is the minimum acceptable quantity, but that's a good miss. Obligated to fill the entire customer order. I think I should have been able to toss that out. So I should have been able to get that 50-50. All right, let's see what our friend Bill James is, the guy at Kaplan who's in charge of the 24 Q Bank. Let's see what he says. MAQ stands for minimum acceptable quantity. In other words, the customer wants to buy 500 shares at a minimum. It's a contingency or qualifier. As the market maker bought only 300, it's not obligated. So anyways, hope that was helpful. Kudos for working on the weekend warriors, test taking weekend warriors. If you need any help, just reach out. And remember, inch by inch, your Series 24 is a cinch. Yard by yard, your Series 24 is hard. I just finished the 2-day, and that's going to be my last public 24 class. But good news for that. That means I'm more available to help out in the Reddit, and I'm also going to be able to put up some more content. All right. See you later. Bye-bye.